Hello. Today I'll be talking about Ditto. Its previous PYC dates are July 7th, 1996, April 28th, 1999, February 16th, 2002, December 7th, 2004, September 28th, 2007, July 19th, 2010, May 9th, 2013, February 28th, 2016, December 19th, 2018, and October 9th, 2021. I, like many others, like Ditto for the pure fact that it's a ridiculous Pokemon. Conceptually, it's a brilliant Pokemon, but the anime keeping its eyes and mouth when it imperfectly copies other Pokemon makes it look ridiculous. It also helps that the Pokemon Company has the silly designs and has put them on plush Pokemon, which are basically like the normal plush Pokemon, but with Ditto's face on them. Anyway, let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Ditto, the transform Pokemon, whose number is 0132. This is what it looks like. Its type is normal, abilities limber, and imposters, its hidden ability. Gender ratio is gender unknown. Catch rate is 35 or 9.9%. Breeding is egg group Ditto. Hatch time 20 cycles. Height is 1 foot or 0.3 meters. Weight is 8.8 pounds or 4 kilograms. Base experience yield is 61 in the first 4 gens and 101 in 5+. Leveling rate is medium fast. EV yield is 1 and HP. Shape is that. Footprint. It has no feet in its natural form, so it has no footprint. Pokedex color is purple, and base friendship is 70. Ditto is a normal type Pokemon introduced in Gen 1. It is not known to evolve into or from any other Pokemon. Ditto is well known for its unique ability to breed with any Pokemon other than the Pokemon in the No Eggs Discovered group, and other Ditto, including some gender unknown Pokemon to produce eggs of the other species. Biology in its natural state, Ditto is a light purple or pink blob-like Pokemon with vestigial facial features. It's often referred to as amorphous, but has a relatively consistent appearance in official artwork, including 2 small nubs on its head, a few soft lumps at its base, and 2 pseudopod-like protrusions in place of arms. The face consists of beady eyes and a simple mouth almost always pulled into a smile. Ditto bears a variety of unusual and often entirely unique traits that set it apart from every other Pokemon. It is capable of transforming into an exact replica of any physical object or living creature, including its form and abilities. Each Ditto has its own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to transforming, being unable to remain transformed while laughing and getting details of its transformation wrong if based on memory being apparently universal. The Pocket Monsters Cardist trading cards depict Ditto being able to transform separate sections of its body into parts from multiple Pokemon at once. The anime, TCG, and some spin-off games have shown that occasionally Ditto cannot change its face during transformation, a trait that has become synonymous with the species despite being incongruous with their depiction in the core series games. While its transformation ability allows it to get along with almost anything, it does not get along with its own kind, which it will quickly and generally fruitlessly attempt to transform into. Aww. It is shown to be able to transform into humans as well, however, it cannot mimic human speech. It transforms into a rock when sleeping to avoid being attacked. As mentioned in Pokemon Sleep, Ditto is known to sleep while still transformed into either a rock or Pokemon. On very rare occasions, a sleeping Ditto will transform back to normal when it is relaxed. Ditto is never far from civilization or people, and is the only Pokemon capable of using the metal powder and quick powdered items. It is also the only known Pokemon that can have Imposter as an ability. In the Indigo Disc, various Ditto blocks can be found as objectives in Blueberry quests throughout the terrarium, where Ditto will seemingly transform into any of the many cubes with rounded edges that make up many of the structures of the terrarium. That's what they are? That's so cool! I'm also super happy I'm learning this before I get to play the game. That is awesome. Despite being milestones for the player to obtain, and not actually obtainable themselves, they can still be shiny. So we've got Duplica's Ditto transformed into a Pikachu, Ditto transformed into a rock while sleeping to avoid being attacked, and a Ditto in the form of one of the cubes in Blueberry Academy's terrarium. Oh, so it's different. So these are not the same as these cubes. I don't know what these cubes are, so that doesn't really help, but it is kind of fun. I don't know, were they designed for this? Or they must serve some other function, right? Are they structural? I don't think they're structural. I don't know what they are. I still have no idea. Okay, well that didn't help. I mean, it kind of helped to learn, and maybe explains a few of them that might have faces in previous videos, or what those may have been, like what those little dots or whatever maybe were, or maybe they only appear when you get close to them. I don't know how this game mechanic works. Game data, NPC appearances. Pokemon Pinball. Ditto appears on the red table, blocking the evolution cave once the evolution arrows are lit. It moves out of the way, allowing the player to evolve one of the Pokemon they have captured. Pokemon Trozy, or Trozai, I don't know. Ditto serves as a wild card, meaning it can Trozy, with any Pokemon, and must be used to get rid of Jammer Balls. One will appear when a Trozai is made with more Pokemon than necessary, and multiple appear at the beginning of a new round in Endless and Forever mode to clear out the remaining Pokemon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Ditto is the guardian of Limestone Cavern and its time gear. It plays a major role in the special episode Here Comes Team Charm. Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. A Ditto under the ownership of Casa appears as a boss at the Sky Fortress. It will transform into Entei, Raikou, and Spiyukun to attack. So there's Ditto and Pokemon Rangers Guardian Signs. It's so cute. Looks like it wants to hug me. It's very nice. Pokedex entries in red and blue. Capable of copying any enemy's genetic code to instantly transform itself into a duplicate of the enemy. Yellow. When it spots an enemy, its body transfigures into an almost perfect copy of its opponent. Psidium. Capable of reorganizing its cells to transform into an exact duplicate of its enemy. It is usually a shapeless blob. In Gen 2 in gold. It can transform into anything. When it sleeps, it changes into a stone to avoid being attacked. Oh! I see. It's all the way back there that they had that. Silver. Its transformation ability is perfect. However, if made to laugh, it can't maintain its disguise. Crystal. When it encounters another Ditto, it will move faster than normal to duplicate that opponent exactly. First Stadium 2, if you have Pokemon Red, Silver, Crystal inserted, you get the gold entry. But if you have Pokemon Blue, Gold, or Yellow inserted, you get the Silver entry. Gen 3 in Ruby and Sapphire. Ditto rearranges its cell structure to transform itself into other shapes. However, if it tries to transform itself into something by relying on its memory, this Pokemon manages to get details wrong. Emerald. A Ditto rearranges its cell structure to transform itself. However, if it tries to change based on its memory, it will get details wrong. Fire Red. It can freely recombine its own cellular structure to transform into other life forms. Leaf Green is very similar to Red and Blues, but slightly different, so I'll read it. Capable of copying an opponent's genetic code to instantly transform itself into a duplicate of the enemy. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, it has the ability to reconstitute its entire cellular structure to transform into whatever it sees. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are their Gold and Silver counterparts. In Gen 5, Black and White is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinums. In Black 2 and White 2, it can reconstitute its entire cellular structure to change into what it sees, but it returns to normal when it relaxes. In Gen 6, X is Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White's entry. Y is Fire Red's entry. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are basically Ruby and Sapphires, but Ditto and Pokemon are the correct casing. In Gen 7 and Sun, it can reorganize its cells to make itself into a duplicate of anything it sees. The quality of the duplicate depends on the individual. Moon. With its astonishing capacity for metamorphosis, it can get along with anything. It does not get along well with its fellow Ditto. Ultra Sun. While it can transform into anything, each Ditto apparently has its own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to transformations. Ultra Moon. It transforms into whatever it sees. If the thing it's transforming into isn't right in front of it, Ditto relies on its memories, so sometimes it fails. The Let's Go games are basically yellows, but Almost and Perfect are one word with a hyphen. In Gen 8, Sword is Black 2 and White 2's entry. Shields is basically crystals, but Ditto is the correct casing. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are the Diamond and Pearl counterpart. Scarlet is the Silver entry. Violet is Fire Red and Y's entry. It's got Ditto in the Alola Pokedex and Ditto in the Paldea Pokedex. So it looks like it's copying Pikachu a little bit. That's fun. Game locations. Side game locations. In events. Held items. Pokemon caught in Gen 1 must be traded to a Gen 2 game in order for a held item to appear. In Red and Blue and Yellow, you get Metal Powder 100% of the time. In Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald, you get Metal Powder 5% of the time. In Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black, White, Black 2, White 2, X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sword, Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, you get Quick Powder 50% of the time, and Metal Powder 5% of the time. Stats, base stats, HP 48, Attack 48, Defense 48, Special Attack 48, Special Defense 48, Speed 48, for a total of 288. This Pokemon's special base stat in Gen 1 was 48. Pokéthon stats: type effectiveness, damage normally by normal, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, steel, fire, water, grass, electric, psychic, ice, dragon, dark, and fairy. Weak to fighting for double, immune to ghost, resistant to nothing. Notes: if this Pokemon is given a ring target, the effectiveness of ghost-type moves is 1, so we go from 0 to 1. While Ditto is transformed into other Pokemon, type effectiveness depends on the types of the Pokemon transformed into. Learn set: by leveling up, you just get transform at 1. It's a normal status move. Power is nothing, accuracy is nothing, PP is 10. Has nothing by TM. By breeding is nothing. TCG only moves. You get Energy Ball from this card, Pound on this card. Side game data, you got all this. Okay. Pokemon Ranger Guardian signs in the browser entry. It transforms into Raikou, Entei, and Suicune to attack. Got all this. Yep, okay. Okay. Yeah, you got all this. Oh, I guess, yeah, all of these things for Pokemon Go. I guess I can transform into all these guys. So you got Pokemon Sleep here, so you got the Rock form, the Azu Sleep, the Pikachu Sleep, the Top Belly Sleep, the Bulbasaur Sleep, Charmander Sleep, Squirrel Sleep. I don't know what these unused are, but Dragon Knight Sleep, Larvitar Sleep, and Glaceon Sleep. That's cute. Since we've started to stop for reading these little, all these different sleep images, I've decided we'll start reading these. Sort of, I guess they're like the sleep style decks or whatever it's called in like the Pokedex voice. So there have been reports from around the world of Ditto falling asleep while still transformed into another Pokemon. Yet Ditto usually returns to normal when it relaxes. So this is a very rare sight. Evolution data, just Ditto sprites here. So you got the basics. Kind of a pink and purple. Yep, that's interesting. It's not quite the look we have now, but it's, yeah, I got the basics. It's very much an amorphous blob. Yep. Yep. And this is green for some reason, so the back sprite doesn't work. I mean, I guess maybe it could, because it can change colors, so you could make an argument that it does. I got purple now, and then blue. It's shiny. Looks very, like... that one looks happy, but all the other ones, they look not happy for some reason. These start to look happy again. This is a pink and a blue. It's a different blue. Yep. Diamond Pearl, go back to purple. Smiles even more. Slightly different blue. Then we go back to sort of a little bit darker purple, I think. Definitely a different model. For sure, definitely a little bit bouncier. That might be even smiling a little bit more. I got the purple, the modern sort of lighter purple, still kind of half smiling. We got this lighter blue. Yep. And the models. Let's Go games. Then Sword and Shields. So a little bit better, I guess. It's shinier now. And then Cross Generation Homes. Yep, you got these other sprites. Crystal's Credits sprite. In the anime, you got Duplica's Ditto. That's one of the big ones. I got a shiny, a normal colored Ditto in the anime. That's kind of fun. Got all this. Yep. Yep. Pokedex entries in episode 37 in Ash's Pokedex. Ditto, a transformed Pokemon. It is able to rearrange the cells of its body and assume any form. Its only attack is transform. In Diamond and Pearl, episode 173 in Dawn's Pokedex. Ditto, the transformed Pokemon. Ditto has the ability to reconstruct its entire cellular structure into whatever it sees. In Sun and Moon, episode 46 in the Rotom Pokedex. Ditto, the transformed Pokemon. A normal type, Ditto can rearrange their body cells to change into other life forms. In what I assume is Journeys, episode 19, in Go's Rotom Phone. Ditto, the transformed Pokemon, a normal type, altering every cell in its body. Ditto can transform into a perfect copy of many different Pokemon. All this, yep. The manga, Ditto and the Electric Tail of Pikachu, looking a little bit silly. Yep, you got all this. Ditto and Pokemon Adventures, I think it's imitating a rock. Yeah. This. in the TCG. Other appearances, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Ditto was originally intended to be one of the Pokemon randomly released from a Pokeball. It would have transformed into a copy of the user's character and aided them in battle. However, it was removed for unknown reasons before the game's release. Ditto can still be unlocked through the debug menu, which is only accessible through the use of Action Replay, though it does not do anything other than deal 7 to 8% damage to those who touch it. As for its official status, Ditto only appears as a random trophy and as a cameo in the tournament mode menu. In winner out or loser out tournaments, holding down L and R and pressing A will give the player a random character and color for each match. The usual character image will instead be a picture of Ditto, so a screenshot of Ditto in Melee. Trophy information? Every Ditto has the ability to copy a Pokemon's entire cell structure in an instant and become its exact replica. They're terrible at remembering techniques, but when they use Transform, they temporarily learn all of their foes' moves. If a Ditto starts to laugh, it weakens and can't hold its transformation. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Ditto appears as a Pokemon summoned from the Pokeball, where it uses Transform to duplicate the shape of the summoning character while still maintaining its own color. It then attacks opposing fighters. Ditto also appears as a spirit. So you got Ditto in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Ditto transformed into an Inkling, Ditto attacking in disguise. That's fun. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, we'll see that one later. Trivia, Ditto has a scrapped evolution in the 1997 Nintendo Space World demo of Pokemon Gold and Silver named Animon, which evolves from Ditto using a metal coat. So sprite of Animon from the 1997 demo. Ditto is the only Pokemon to date with a catch rate of 35. However, in Gen 3 and 4, if Ditto transforms to another Pokemon, its catch rate will become that of the new Pokemon. In Gen 9, its catch rate will become 0 by mistake if the Pokemon is not the primary form, gender, or Pokemon with differing stats or movesets, or regional form. Ditto and Manaphy are the only Pokemon that are both able to breed yet unobtainable through breeding. In Pokemon Snap, Ditto takes the form of Bulbasaur in the cave stage. The player can cause them to return to their Ditto form by hitting them with an object. When the player takes their picture, Ditto has the same eyes when it is transformed as when it is not. This trait is shared by Duplica's Ditto in the anime, although it was understood that this was not natural. Ditto cards from the EX Delta Series TCG expansion, the Clefairy Ditto, that may appear in the Veilstone Game Corner, slot machines, and Howard Clifford's Ditto in Pokemon Detective Pikachu also share this trait. Ditto is one of 2 Pokemon to have 2 different species-specific stat-enhancing items associated with it, the other being Clamperl. Ditto's 2 associated items, the Metal Powder and Quick Powder, seem to be the same colors as Ditto's normal and shiny forms, respectively. Aww. In Pokemon Rumble, since Transform was not programmed into the game, Ditto can only know Struggle. Since PP does not exist in Rumble, this makes Ditto the only Pokemon in Rumble that can use Struggle. However, Transform does exist in Pokemon Rumble Blast, so Ditto has a move from that game onward. Ditto is the most common Pokemon in Pokemon Trozi? I don't know, appearing in every area. This is due to its ability to transform, enabling the player a way to advance further if no links are available before Ditto appears. I've already read this 8th point here. Since Transform copies its target stats except HP, Ditto cannot utilize its special attack stat before transforming, though it can use its attack stat for struggle and confusion damage. Since Ditto's only move, Transform, cannot copy moves in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series and has only 1 PP, its only move after transforming is Struggle. However, in Red/Blue Rescue Team and in Explorers of Time/Darkness/Sky, a player-controlled Ditto can learn the TM moves Vacuum Cut and Wide Slash. Since Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, Ditto is able to get the moveset of the target Pokemon when it transforms. In Gen 6, Ditto is only given 1 move animation, despite the 2 animations minimum most Pokemon have for contact and non-contact moves. On October 4th, 2017, the Pokemon Company posted a Ditto-themed music video on their YouTube channel called Ditto? In Pokemon Go, Ditto appears in the wild, disguised as other Pokemon. After being caught, it will reveal its true form. At one point, a large amount of Ditto were seen disguised as the then-unrevealed mythical Pokemon Melton. Ditto is the only non-playable Pokemon that can be defeated in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In Pokemon Go, Ditto and Shedinja are the only Pokemon that cannot be used in trainer battles unless the battle is against Team Go Rocket. In Pokemon Shuffle, Ditto was originally coded as a wild card prior to its official release, allowing it to match with any other Pokemon icon. Its effect from Pokemon Battle Chozai, whatever. This was not a skill effect, and its skill was Swarm, but rather a quality specific to Ditto itself. Some players obtained Ditto illegitimately during this time and used its effect to gain high scores in competitive stages from September 2015 until Ditto's official release in 2017, when the skill was changed to Shuffle's version of Transform. Ditto is the only Gen 1 Pokemon that does not have evolutionary relatives or have a regional variant that does. Alternate forms, such as Gigantamax or Mega Evolution, or be strongly associated with another that it does not share any evolutionary line with, Mew, Duo, and Legendary Birds. Ditto has the most sleeve styles of any Pokemon with a total of 10. Glitches, index at 000 post-capture. In Gen 1, if the player manages to capture a M00, it will still be in battle with the player and the battle will not end. Catching M00 again results in the second one becoming a Ditto of the same level. Transform glitches, so you got main article list of transform glitches, I guess. Origin in the 6th issue of Best Buys at Gamer magazine, Game Freak developers Junichi Masuda and Ken Sugimori revealed that Ditto was originally based on the iconic smiley face. Its eyes and mouth are exactly like that, which is an emoticon representing the smiley. Additionally, Ditto strongly resembles an amoeba, a single-celled organism with no definite shape. This may emphasize its ability to alter its cellular composition. This could also explain why Ditto is unavailable through breeding, since single-celled organisms reproduce differently from multicellular plants and animals. It could also partially be based on an undifferentiated cell, a cell in the body that can change into any other cell by sampling it. In addition, it could have been based on a blob or modeling clay. Ditto's ability to change into others brings reminiscence of a variety of mythical creatures like changelings, doppelgangers, or skinwalkers. Name origin, Ditto is literally Ditto, that which was stated before, copy of a document, imitation. Metamon may be a combination of metamorphose, to undergo a physical transformation, or meta, prefix meaning encompassing or transcending, which may refer to transform, allowing Ditto to take on the shape of every other Pokemon and monster. In other languages, related articles, references, external links, let's move on. Now let's watch Ditto's first scene in the anime. Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today we're watching episode 37, very fittingly, Ditto's Mysterious Mansion. In this episode, Ash, Ketchum, the main character, and his traveling companions, Brock and Misty, as well as his faithful Pokemon Pikachu, have entered this mansion to get out of a storm. It's seemingly empty and abandoned, so they're going to decide to stay the night.
Brown, we might as well stay till the rain stops.
Yeah, or till the rain stops.
Okay.
And there's the Ditto, imitating Pikachu. Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's Ditto's first scene in the anime. Let's move on. Now let's watch Ditto's scenes of Detective Pikachu. Hello and welcome to the Detective Pikachu portion of the video, as I like to call it, Detective Ditto, as this is only the frames, with Ditto to the best of my ability. In the film, Tim Goodman, the main character, is on his way to Rhyme City, a city where humans and Pokemon coexist, as he was told his father had died in a car crash. Right now he's watching a video introducing him to Rhyme City, and the video is currently talking about how humans and Pokemon collaborated for the common good, and there's a few Ditto in the hieroglyphs here, a few, yeah, Ditto silhouettes.
For the common good.
So now we've cut to later in the film. Tim has met Detective Pikachu, a talking Pikachu with amnesia. And they found something called the Argas, which they've brought to this film studio to talk to Lucy Stevens, a journalist for the news. And so, right now, these two, that's Howard Clifford, the founder of Rhyme City, and his son Roger Clifford, who runs the news. They've done a promo for the 10th anniversary of Rhyme City, so this is after, you know, he heard him say cut. And so that's Howard's Ditto, who will help him. He's in a wheelchair.
Well, I think that went rather well.
Oh, shut up!
Yeah,
Turn your back on me like you always did. By the way, no one likes your Pokemon.
Tim and Detective Pikachu have tracked the Argas to this underground fight club. Ditto here, who's disguised as Miss Norman, Howard's assistant, is keeping an eye on Detective Pikachu. So they're in this underground fight club. This Pokemon fighting is illegal in Rhyme City. Blastoise and a Gengar currently the ones fighting. So she's texting, presumably Howard there. So now we've cut to a little later. When Tim met Detective Pikachu convinced him that Harry Goodman, Tim's father, wasn't actually dead, as Pikachu was Harry's partner. They went on this whole little thing, and the police chief, Harry was a police detective. He has shown Tim and Detective Pikachu the footage, and now they truly believe him to be dead. But now, suddenly, Miss Norman here has shown up to summon Tim and Detective Pikachu to Howard. Yep, so there they are in the elevator. So that's, Howard and Eevee. So before I do this has one of my favorite moments that I'll probably point it out. I might even go back, but...
Thank you, Miss Norman.
Yes, thank you, Miss Norman. That'll be all.
So, if you had noticed that, Miss Norman started turning when Detective Pikachu dismissed Miss Norman, rather than him. I mean, there's a slight ambiguity. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? So that reveals, that's a nice hint to the audience that this is actually a Ditto, as... at this point in the film, the audience doesn't actually know that Miss Norman is a Ditto, so it's a very nice, foreshadowing to that twist later on.
What a blabbermouth.
Yeah.
Please, come in.
That's Detective Pikachu. That wasn't obvious. So now, Howard has explained that Harry isn't actually dead, that his soul was somehow captured by a Pokemon called Mewtwo. And so Tim has gone, they're investigating a lab connected to the Cliffords, particularly Roger Clifford, and they are currently at the lab with Lucy and her Psyduck. This is the Ditto as pretending to be Roger, and so he's gonna use, I don't know, Roger's fingerprints or whatever to access the security cameras in the lab here, so he's on his way there. He opens the lamp.
You go ahead, I'll catch up to you.
Lucy and Psyduck. Yep, and so he's accessing the cameras and stuff. And he's opening up these cages. They have Greninja, or special Greninja in them. Yep. So now we've cut to later. So they found Mewtwo here, and since he tracked them down, he was able to follow Mewtwo. Or it was it, whatever. Yeah, it's capturing Mewtwo.
It's a good day.
So yeah.
Before we begin the parade, I'd like to thank our...
So what has happened is that Lucy and Tim have returned to Rhyme City. She has tried to get the mayor herself, that's who that guy was, but he dismissed her as just like an interviewer. And so the Ditto has shown up here, and since she still thinks that's Roger, she doesn't want him to know that she knows that he's behind the capturing and stuff, so...
Benefactor Howard Clifford.
And so now we've cut to later, so that was at the beginning of the parade, by the way. A lot has happened. Howard revealed that he was actually the one that captured Mewtwo, this is obviously Howard's Ditto, so, yeah. And now he's used a device called the Neuralink to put his mind inside of Mewtwo's, and right now, he is fighting Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. Meanwhile, Tim here so he went to tell Howard, and that whole thing, the whole reveal, happened, and he was knocked out by Mewtwo/Howard. And so now he's woken up. He just found Roger in the closet, tied up, gagged with duct tape and stuff. And so now he's seeing the Ditto, and it's now the reveal that it was actually not Roger, but this Ditto. So yeah, Miss Norman, the reveal of the eyes. Ditto. So there's Ditto again. That's Loudred blasting him.
Wait.
So now they're fighting. She's turned into Lucy.
Come on. No, not fair. Okay, for the record, I have no guilt hitting a beady-eyed version of the woman I'm very attracted to. Okay.
Fighting. Now he's turned into a champ. And so Howard, as Mewtwo, has commanded him to like take care of Tim here. He's knocking him to the ledge. Now he's turned into a Cubone. To use the bones to knock it down. Knock it with his fingers. So I can fall. Yeah, so now he's been unleashed and he knocked him out of the, down the thing, but now it's come back as a Braviary. Bouffalant knocks him out, attacking, now it's turning into a Charizard. And, yeah. Just the idea of gas, crazy, I guess, and it's gone through a bunch of different shapes, I think. Squirtle, Psyduck, Pikachu, and different mime are also in there, so now it's being defeated. Yeah, but now it's in the credits a few times, so we got those, as well as the Cubone we saw earlier was in one of the panels, I think. So this one is a little bit more ambiguous. I don't know if it's the Cubone or the Ditto Cubone, so I've left it in for this one. Yep, and now it's in here, which is actually interesting. I don't know if you can see it, but it has both Ditto and Miss Norman in here, being kind of the only humanoid character in here. They're all actual Pokemon, but it's the only like human form among these Pokemon, which I think is interesting. Yeah, there's this thing, yeah. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Let's move on. Now let's see why other people love Ditto. Now let's look at fan art. Hello, and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Nobody sent in fan art, so let's start by looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those of you who don't know how this works, what we do is we go through these images until we find an image that doesn't contain a Ditto. This is Ditto Doodles by Black Cat 5643. So we got Ditto transforming into a bunch of things. We got the normal Ditto. When sleeping, it looks like. And then Ditto transforming into Pikachu, Gengar, and Cubone here. That's fun. They all seem to have this the symbol. I don't know if this is the artist's symbol. This might be a bunch of images compiled together. So that might be why it has this symbol everywhere. So then we got Ditto transform gif, so then it turns into Pikachu. Yeah. That's fun. It's by USV02. Sad Ditto by Pikachu. So it's a sad Ditto. It's smiling, of course, because it always smiles. But yeah, it's kind of sad. But very well done piece of art. I've got Ditto by Uranvidi. It's this fun Ditto. More the face that's actually in the games rather than the smile that the anime usually gives it. And the plushies and stuff. But it's with these butterflies, that's fun. Yep. And we've got Ditto by Danny, my brother. This cool, simplified Ditto here. It's this, it almost looks like it'd be maybe a logo or something. So this is called Ditto plus Girl 1,707,053,704,145 by Andrew Pinetree here, but it doesn't, like, this is clearly an AI image, first and foremost. And this neither, while I can't technically say it doesn't contain the Pokemon Ditto, Ditto doesn't necessarily appear like anything here, so I'm just gonna not count it and we'll say we're done. Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. I won't be streaming tonight as I need to wait until I've talked about Snorlax before I get to Ditto. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Eevee. As always, this is my proper outfit and you'll see me tomorrow.